So we've done a lot in this series, and we've got our conditions and variables working, and now we have added so much to our dialog files. But there's one small thing that we need to address with the conditional statements, such as this if choice here, and that is if you do not have an else statement. I said that you would be able to do this either way, so you could have your if and your else, or just an if statement, and then ignore it if nothing matches, if nothing is satisfying this condition. So we have a choice here that's being made in this file, and the only thing that's happening when I make my choice is I'm logging a new variable which takes in the value of whatever choice I just made. Now, in this condition, I'm going to see if I decided to go to the cave. If I do, I'm going to execute this particular line. And if not, then we're just going to proceed on to the rest of the file and say that let's go on to the place that we've decided to go. And since that condition is looking for me to make a choice for the cave, I'm going to select the cave. And then we get that dialog line. And we proceed on to the end of the file and we have no issues. But if we flip that around and now choose the forest, well then what we get is we do proceed on to the next line, but we also get this null reference exception. And this null reference exception is coming from our ll condition script. That is the line inside of our execute function for the logical line of the conditions, where we come down and check if the cell data lines.count is greater than 0. Only if we have a valid number of lines, meaning we have some sort of encapsulated data, then we're going to generate the conversation and enqueue the priority, but it is saying that this is null. And that's because if we look at our struct for encapsulated data, the list of lines is null here. It's not generated. Now, whenever we rip the encapsulated data, such as here, we are generating a new encapsulated data struct, but we are also populating it with a new list. That's only if we're ripping the encapsulated data. If we don't have that else statement, then it's not going to try to rip anything. And instead what we get is just a new encapsulated data. So what we could do is we could come up here and we could define lines equals a new list of strings, and then we would be fine. But that's not how I'm going to do this. Instead, I'm going to make this nullable. So let's go right into our encapsulated data, and let's just make a new public boolean called is null, and set that to true if lines equals null. And so for our condition, when we go to check the lines and see if we have anything to execute, well, the lines may be null, so what we can do first is say if not cell data dot is null and the lines are greater than 0. Then we will only try to build a new conversation if we have valid data. So if there's no else statement, then we're not going to get any kind of error. And doing that will now allow me to check the choice where we bypass the conditional information.